Yes, to your point, we were very clear about
Oh, you're gonna
our
pick up and pretend like the lights didn't go out and we completely had to stop editing and restart again?
not anymore. So my power went out, and
I like that was very smooth that you were gonna try to play that off at my expense and just have me end talking about nothing.
well, before we lost power, and then went to our Ask Me Anything, which you can join us as a member at strategyandSolidarity.org.
Please come
Uh,
talk to us.
please come do it. After we got back from AMA, good conversation today, uh, and my power were restored, and I saw what we were talking about last. Um, we were talking about you were making the compare and contrast between or asking questions that were a very easy compare and contrast between my own experience leading and being a part of a hunger strike in the 90s and the Delaney hunger strike in New Jersey right now. And you had asked last if, around what kind of splash was trying to be made. Are you just doing this to be seen? Do you have specific goals? What is the actual strategy, right? But the goal behind the strategies and tactics being used in a protestation, right? Because it gets very fun for people and cute. And I imagine more so in these moments to have our Instagrammable protest moments and be a part of a thing than to be in the planning that leads to a necessary protest in order to achieve a goal as opposed to um, making a statement, right? Because really, we didn't care about a statement. It was about achieving um, future possibilities for scholarship and employment for students and for the tenure of three professors and to ensure that there was a department going forward, right? And so it was very, very clear what we were trying to achieve. um yeah, I do wonder, right, with what's going on, Delaney, what we had been involved with, how for witnesses those things sit and differ, right, along the lines of protest
Well, because you all
between
were using the hunger strike to try to pressure the administration by having your parents and other people who cared about you get involved, right? Because they didn't want to stand by and watch their children be harmed, and it would look bad for the administrators to have their students starving to death. There's not quite the same leverage when you're in a prison camp or detention center, because when the people in there are like causing you harm in the first place. Because
right,
it seems like
absolutely,
the
absolutely.
having the support of the people on the outside showing up to continue drawing attention to what's happening inside is really essential in the circumstance, to have that coalition of people inside and outside who are supporting, because it's not only just about what you are doing. I imagine it also was required to have press coverage and have your parents calling the school and get other people involved. um, when you all launched your hunger strike, is not only that you had a hunger strike, it was how that hunger strike impacted and played on the other people around you that made it an effective strategy.
Yeah, I think very few of us were involving our parents per se, but certainly having community involved, right? And having that press deeply involved. But and more to the point, right? Because it's clear that this is the strategy that a group will uptake when they feel that they've got nothing left to lose, right? Like, okay, we don't have any other chips. with which to bargain. We have to get their attention, and we have to make them desperate to make this end, right?
Right.
And so that's where that tactic came from. I look at that. I look at what's happening in Delaney, and then I compare that to what's going on with the, like, what I have called, and I don't mean to be derogatory, but the parades, right? The No Kings parades,
The I hate Trump parties in the street. I call them I hate
which
Trump parties.
also very good thing to have. Both
Sure.
of those are very good to have, right? But the tactical purpose of such a thing and impact, I guess, is more the impact than the purpose is really lost to me at this point for a No Kings protest.
To have a quarterly scheduled I hate Trump party in the street with no coordination or organization or power analysis or leverage points in between.
Or demands. I mean, that's the
Or
thing. It's like,
demands.
what do you want?
It's
Like, no
the
kings.
equivalent
Okay,
of
we don't have a king. So what do you want?
I don't want to talk to the manager. It just feels like the equivalent of the white lady tears of like, let me talk to your manager.
Nah.
Um, it feels like it's kind of like the meta equivalent of that because there is no demand. It's just like, I don't like what you're doing. I want you to be in trouble. I want you to feel like you're bad. It's just like the white lady gatekeeper tactic of like trying to instill shame and guilt in someone or something, but that's completely unuseful for him because he does not care. Right? So, I
No,
mean, where is
no.
it useful? I think those, the No Kings protests are useful in showing people, especially in redder states, how many people do stand in opposition to him. There is something to see, like the actual mass and numbers of people who will come out for something like that. I think it can be energizing to know that you're not alone. I think it could be. I don't know how many organizations are using them this way. I've heard of a couple that are. Could be an incredibly useful grounds for recruiting and organizing and connecting with other organizations, helping individuals who are new figure out where to get involved and how to like increase their level of engagement up to something more useful. There's lots of things it could be doing. Whether it's doing any of those things, it doesn't seem clear. It just seems like let's go have a party in the street to say we're unhappy. And there's not a clear demand. There's not a clear goal. There's not a mechanism for achieving a goal, even if there was one. You know? And I think that's a place where people have this kind of like viral video TV mythology of what protest and action is. It's about a
Yeah.
moment of everyone coming together, of Rosa Parks refusing to sit down in the back of the bus, and not like all of the strategy and how many people got arrested before her and all the planning and what it took to decide she was the one who was going to step up in that moment and have it go the way they expected it to go for that to launch the boycott after that. It wasn't just a heroic moment of she was tired and didn't want to get up. That's the way they taught it to me in school.
That's
There was
just
so much
horrible. Yeah, no, she was the leader of the
strategy and
Socialist
organizing
Party.
behind that movement and behind that one action. So many people who were involved and ready, and the amount of logistics that were required to pull that off for was over a year, right?
Yeah.
Those are not the sexy things. Those are not the viral moments. Those are
Mm-mm.
not always super joyful. But like the work that's required to actually figure out what are you trying to accomplish and how are you going to get there in the ways that power actually moves through human systems and structures, not in the way that your morality and your imagination imagines it should work, but in the way that it actually does work. Whether we like that it works that way or not, you got to deal with what the reality of our current systems and structures are.
Yeah, the
Um,
Kylie Jenner Pepsi commercial version of a protest is not serving us. Is not serving us in this moment.
And you said something a little bit ago, about the math. And I think there is actually math. It's around 3% to 10%. I mean, 3% mass mobilization. If you can get 3% of a population to all show up together, I think some of that research comes out of like the Arab Spring
Mhm.
and the initial success of those movements, if not long-standing success of those movements. And about 3% of the population is almost unstoppable. I think it's around 10% if you're trying to go for changing beliefs and not hearts and minds, but kind of beliefs and ideas. If you can get 10% of a population to take on and accept your proposition, idea, whatever, they can create incredible change and it can eventually be taken up by the entire population. We can see that in terms of gay marriage, for one, that in my childhood was inconceivable, right? Um, in the ways of it being a legal thing that people would approve of because it just wasn't even talked about, to the place where we're at now where it's just normal for my
Yeah.
children and their lives. Why would that be illegal? You know?
Yeah. Well, and why would it be gay marriage? Why would it not just be marriage, right? Those things change and evolve with time. And it's not about the arc of justice because there is not one of those, but it's about those who push forward to claim their space.
And
And
there's plenty of homophobic people still out there, but the
for sure.
popular kind of mainstream approach has radically shifted just in the 40 years of my lifetime, probably just
Yeah.
in the past 25, 30 years. And it took so many individuals and so much work and a lot of pain and sacrifice to get us there. And to my children, it's incomprehensible that marriage wouldn't be for whoever wants to get married, regardless of gender.
Yeah.
That you would, you know, ridicule people for loving who they love. Like that's just not been part of their, like they know it exists. They know homophobia exists. They've had run-ins here and there, but by and large, they've grown up in a world in Portland, Oregon, in being my children, where that is it's just a radically different reality. On the flip side, we can see how quickly MAGA and flat earthers and things took off, right? And so it's no guarantee that the just accurate truth is always going to win. If the propagandists are better at getting 10% or more of the population to agree with them and pick up their ideology, we're in trouble, right? And those are the reasons we spend so much time talking about strategy and solidarity, so that we don't get hung up on just like what's my one right way or the thing that's most important to me that I must fight on this hill to the death, but the things that are most important to our collective well-being
Yeah.
moving forward.
Well, and circling back to solidarity and to what is happening at Delaney. The demands that are coming out of Delaney prison in December of this year, Gene Wilson Brutus was pronounced dead within 24 hours of arriving at Delaney, which began calls for independent investigation and autopsy. That death was only reported by ICE a full week after his passing. And so the demands right now that are coming from the hunger strikers and their supporters, for listeners who want to be involved, they are demanding that Governor Mickey Sherrill come inside to the facility and meet with us. We demand the immediate release of those with serious medical conditions, along with all young and elderly peoples, according to the hunger strikers' statement. And so if you are interested in supporting them, very specifically to support the immigrant detainees on hunger and labor strikes as well, at the Delaney Hall Detention Center right now in Newark, you can do several things. You can amplify their demands. That's having conversations about it like this. We know that the structures of news, information and dissemination, information gathering and dissemination in the United States have been fucked over by our president and his administration. So let your people know what is going on and let them know where the sources are, that they can find the actual information so that they you don't end up in a debate with them back and forth. The other things that they're asking for us to do is to contact elected officials and to donate support funds as well as joining local solidarity actions and protests. The support funds, I don't know where to donate, so I'm not suggesting you do that necessarily. And we're all broke, and I know that. But you do have a phone and a whole computer right in your pocket. And so if you wanted to call the New Jersey governor, Mickey Sherrill, you would call her office at 609 292 6000. That is 609 292 6000. And you can demand that she visit the facility and directly hear the testimonials of the strikers and to push for the permanent closure of the Delaney Hall Detention Center. That would be the list of the acts of solidarity which fall in line with the strategy being employed by the hunger strikers in New Jersey right now, because we made up ICE. I'd forgotten that we did not have that immigration bullshit like that until after 9/11.
I mean, we
I'd
had
gotten so
different
used to it.
agencies. There's been other agencies. There was no shortage
Oh,
of
for
immigration
sure.
raids before ICE.
For
It just
sure.
wasn't
For
ICE.
sure. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
want to say something real quick though, which is like how important
Say
it
it.
is to support the protesters and especially the folks inside in what they are asking for. Because, you know, for the neurodivergent among us, the systems thinkers, it's really easy to like see what they're asking for and then jump 3 or 4 steps higher, which is like, we shouldn't have any private corporations running prisons, which we shouldn't. We should shut down all of ICE. We should abolish ICE. And yes, absolutely. And when we start getting to those bigger, more not necessarily abstract, but harder to achieve goals, we can lose sight of the importance of actually winning where it's most important. Like this is impacting people's lives who are in there right now, right? Support them on what they are asking for in this moment for their immediate basic survival. Yes, we need to abolish ICE. Yes, we should not have private corporations profiting off of running concentration camps. Now, do you have a strategy for making that stop right now? I do not. I'm sure there is one somewhere, probably would require flipping over the people in charge of Congress and the White
You say
House.
you want a revolution.
Or seceding from the union. I don't know. That is not an immediately actionable thing. A concrete action of getting the governor to go in firsthand and see the things is actionable. Then the governor has the power to potentially, maybe, I'm not 100% sure if the governor does or doesn't, try to take whatever administrative or policy actions they can to try to shut that down inside of their state. That doesn't mean they can't just move them to another state that's more accommodating, but it is a win that matters. And so I think it's important for us to stay like concrete and grounded that yes, our vision is abolish ICE. Our vision is no private profit in concentration camps and prisons. But what is our immediately actionable win for today? Is to support these folks and what they're asking for, try to get the governor to go in and find out what's happening at the detention centers in our states. You know, they're not only in New Jersey, there's the one getting um, a lot of news and support right now, which I should. And there's probably similar things happening all over the place. So, where's the place in your local community where you can step in and help out and keep it grounded in like, what can we do today to help people meet people's needs is going to help us in the long term move towards that vision of a more just and sustainable future for all.
Yeah, absolutely. So I did find that Hands Off NYC is the org that is leading a lot of this movement right now around Delaney. So we will share the links to that as well as the governor's phone number in the show notes and chats. Flood the channels, get the information out there, make sure that you're standing on the side that you want to be on by taking action.
Okay, I know we're about to wrap up. I got 2 things.
I'm trying so hard
just in
to
case
go ahead,
anyone wants
please.
to follow me on my mostly NPR podcast listening tour. The most recent episode, I think, of This American Life did an episode on the Social Security Administration.
Mm.
and how DOJ literally told the Social Security Administration to kill off 6,000 people,
Oh
meaning
yeah,
put
yeah,
them
yeah,
on the
yeah. I
list
saw
of
that.
dead people. And then they came back with another, and they were like, no, we can't do that. That's illegal. And then they just went ahead and did it anyway.
Yeah.
And then when they tried to fix it, because the people came in like, I'm not dead, they were like, no, keep them dead. Don't let them be alive. Don't let them have social security numbers again. Because once you tell that someone's dead, that like freezes and shuts down everything that has anything to do with their social security number. That's your bank account, school registrations, loans. Like you can't, everything's frozen. You can't do anything. And they came back with another list of 2.5 million people and then blatantly out loud told them, we're hoping to either make these people's lives so miserable that they self deport, or when they show up to Social Security to try to get it sorted out, we'll just call ICE and have them deported. So it was just blatantly targeting people in the most illegal and malicious way. Um, what was the other thing? I don't remember what the other thing was. It was very upsetting. I just listened to it last night. But to understand the kind of tactics and strategies they're willing to use, um, I don't know. I don't
Yeah.
understand it. But and it mattered that like the one person at Social Security who was not a revolutionary and at first went along with some of the problematic things they told him to do, but then drew a line and was like, no, that's very illegal. We can't do that. And stopped it and prevented some harm from happening then, and is a whistleblower now. And it's like, even if you don't know or you don't do the right thing at the exact right moment at first, it's never too late. It's never too late to pick up what you can do and stand for something. Because we gotta, do what we can where we can. We can't all do everything all the time. We gotta find our lane and find our moment. And it's not about being a hero. It's just about being useful.
All right. Well, if folks want to join Theresa checking out what is happening in the NPR zone around some of these issues and some of the messages that continue to be told in this American life is one of the most important ones that has been around for a long time. So do check that out. What? That's a lot of words. What else? Anything else we're doing today?
Oh, On the Media looked at this, like they
That
did
was
like a
rhetorical.
walkthrough exhibit. So the other one I was thinking about the Epstein files. I believe they called it. It's like a pop up in New York and DC right now. The Epstein and Trump memorial reading room or something. They printed out
Mm-hmm.
every piece of documentation from the Epstein files that has been released thus far for people to go walk through and engage with and be traumatized by. But like a bunch of survivors are showing up and like adding their names and speaking out, and very troubling and concerning, and something to not forget about among all the other things. The incredible harm that these men have and continue to cause blatantly on purpose.
Yeah.
And it's
Well,
on all of us
art.
to interrupt wherever we can.
Yeah, art is action, right? And so, knowing that there are street artists who are willing to take action, both on the scale of like throwing up those ridiculous statues that they keep throwing up of Trump and Epstein all over DC, but knowing that that's happening in the streets and that other artists are taking action it's huge. It's huge. Okay, wrapping up. Speaking of art and action, hey, if you are hearing this on Thursday, then please feel free to come and join me for some stand-up comedy. I am going to be at Only the Baddest over at Nosh Pit Thursday night. Friday night, I will be at the Sunset rooftop for Sergio Productions Fresh Faces comedy show in Los Angeles and Hollywood. Tickets are available at Even Brighton in the link. I will be at the Comedy Chateau on that Monday and Wednesday. So, and then that's that's a week of stuff. That's enough stuff for now for me to say. Hope to see you there.
Come join us at strategyandSolidarity.org. We got live events. We got a conflict coaching session coming up. You can still join our conflict resolution for anti-fascist learning lab. And we have something brand new in the works. It's going to be very exciting, called Reclaiming My Spirit.
you don't even know. It's
That's
so
all you get to
exciting.
know for now. Come join
All
us
right.
there if you want to learn more very soon.
All right. Sounds good. Thanks for joining us, y'all.
Take good care of yourselves out there.
Oh, shit. And thanks. I know. Thank you, Imani, for the use of the music that you're hearing right now, because I'm going to put it over the top of this because now the podcast is very over. Goodbye.